Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Jyotirmayananda channel. We focus on spirituality, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings of the scriptures and to enjoy daily satsang with us. We are currently exploring the book The Art of Positive Feeling, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So we were enjoying the story in yesterday's satsang of which God is the greatest. Is it Brahma? Is it Vishnu? Is it Shiva? So let's continue. So, having entered Brahmaloka, sage Bhrigu approached Brahma without offering adorations. Brahma could not tolerate this misconduct of the sage. Anger manifested in his face as the corners of his eyes grew red, and he began to look for his kamandalu, the vessel containing sacred water, with the intention of pronouncing a curse on Bhrigu. Goddess Saraswati, the divine consort of Lord Brahma, restrained him, saying, O Lord, do not be angry with Bhrigu. He has always been courteous before. There must be some reason for his unusual behavior. Thus saying, Goddess Saraswati dissuaded Brahma from cursing the sage. Scarcely believing that he had escaped, sage Bhrigu hastened his steps to the dwelling place of Lord Shiva. Approaching the great deity, he did not salute. In addition, he began to insult the deity, saying, O Shiva, you ride on a bull, wear snakes for your garlands, and you keep your body besmeared with ashes. You are the very personification of madness. At this, Lord Shiva grew immensely angry and reached for his trident, ready to hurl it to destroy Bhrigu. But Goddess Parvati, Lord Shiva's divine consort, stopped him, pleading, O Lord, Bhrigu is a great sage and he is a devotee of yours. Please have patience with him. Reluctantly, Lord Shiva withdrew his trident, saying, This Brahman must be taught a lesson. However, I am not beheading him this time for your sake. But if he ever shows rudeness again, his head will fall. Fleeing from Lord Shiva, Bhrigu approached to Vaikuntha, where Lord Vishnu dwells. Lord Vishnu, the indweller of every heart, knew what the sage was intending to do, and even before Bhrigu arrived, he pretended to be deep in sleep. When Bhrigu arrived at Vaikuntha, he rushed towards the divine abode. The gatekeeper tried to stop the sage from entering, but seeing his angry face, they let him go. Bhrigu rushed into the inner apartments of Lord Vishnu, and seeing him stretched in sleep, the sage kicked the chest of Lord Vishnu with great vehemence, saying, You who are the sustainer of the world, how dare you sleep, ignoring the well beings of the world? Lord Vishnu sat up and clasped the feet of the sage, saying, O sage, your tender lotus feet has been injured by my rock-like chest. What a great sin I have committed. Please forgive me, O great sage. Sage Bhrigu was amazed at the humility of Lord Vishnu. He said, O Lord, it is I who must be forgiven by you, who are supremely compassionate. How can I ever be free of the sinful act of having kicked your sacred chest with my foot? The world will always speak ill of me for having done so. Lord Vishnu said, O sage, on the contrary, the world will sing your praises. You have pleased me by placing your foot on my chest, just as a mother is pleased even when her infant kicks her. I am ever pleased with my devotees even when they are angry with me. As a token of my satisfaction, I have installed your footprint on my chest. Not only this, every great incarnation of mine will bear your footprint on his chest. Sage Bhrigu was immersed in bliss. He had discovered the greatest among the deities. From a mystic point of view, this story is not meant to ascertain the superiority of one deity over another. But in fact, these three deities are all the same, one appearing as three. What it intends to do is show the secret of real greatness. The greatness of a person does not lie in his power and prosperity, but in the magnanimity of his heart, the magnanimity with which he is ever ready to love instead of hate, to forgive instead of to hold a grudge, to be humble instead of being proud and conceited. The perfect and total humility of Lord Vishnu is divine, beyond the human plane. As long as one is in the human plane, his interactions are based on ego to one degree or another. But the ideal of egolessness personified in this story must be adored, and one must strive to realize that ideal gradually with patience. So, eliminating ego, sublimating it, humbling it is a difficult exercise. Daily we must practice it and have patience in improving this process. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. This third beatitude from Lord Jesus' Sermon on the Mount extols the great virtue of humility and points to this majestic power. The meekness referred to here is profoundly different from the meekness in common parlance. It is not to be confused with the dullness of mind that leads a person to simply accept without questioning whatever the world presents before him. Nor is it at all like the degrading timidity that leaves many people feeling humiliated again and again in life. Certainly, it is not the feigned humility that a crafty person adopts to help him get what he wants out of a situation. Such a person may act like a sheep, but he may well be a wolf in sheep's clothing. The blessed meekness praised by Lord Jesus is that yogic state of advanced personality integration in which one is so profoundly in tune with cosmic will that he has no need to assert his ego. Ever guided by the divine hand, he carries out the will of God with total surrender, with the innocent meekness of a sheep driven by the great shepherd, God, the divine self. The highest state of meekness is reached when a devotee is able to totally cast his ego center into the ocean of the divine self through the intuitive realization of God. This is achieved through a mind which sees the very ego center as merely a reflection of that self and not the absolute reality within. In the lesser stages of spiritual development, the ego center seems to be all that one has, and one is constantly trying to assert the ego. However, as you reflect deeply and inquire into who am I, you gradually realize the illusoriness of the perception of ego and the vanity involved in being a slave to egoistic consciousness. You eventually understand that the ego is not the all important factor that it appears to be, and the tension due to egoistic illusions gradually begin to subside. One who has developed such meekness of spirit enjoys a unique type of relaxation and experiences a joy that so far excels ordinary happiness that is termed as bliss. His mind is no longer under the grip of selfishness, no longer tarnished by the impressions of frustrations and sorrow that accompany egoistic consciousness. The radiantly healthy mind of such a person becomes a basis for intense creative activity that can do immeasurable good to many, many people. With this, we conclude our satsang for today. I will see you in tomorrow's satsang where we will continue this beautiful journey together. Hari Om Tat Sat.